What is going on, guys? Welcome to number 2 of Ark Survival Evolved. And man, all right, we got an episode today. Oh man. As you can see, I got some dinos behind me. I got Beeves, I got Perry, and then I got Azalea. And man, we got a journey ahead of us. We got evicted. As you can see, we don't have our house anymore. I got a message a couple of days ago from one of the people on the server, and I guess they're going to war and they're expanding their stronghold, and so that means that I have to find new residents. I don't want any part of this war. I just want to catch my dinos and live my life. So we're going to be looking for a new house or a new spot to put our house, I should say. We're going to build our house as well. So I'm going to take my dinos that I do have, and we're going to go ahead and look for a new location, maybe somewhere secluded, and start building a new house. And that's okay. I feel more experienced in this game. It seems like the people in the server aren't very, very violent right out the gate, so I'm not as concerned about playing on this server. I know it is a PvP server, but as long as I don't antagonize anybody, I think I'll be okay. So we're going to go ahead and start our journey, and already, we got to make sure that the pathing is good for these dinosaurs. We kind of have a weird area to go to, and I don't know where I'm going to go, and I got to also make sure my dinos are set to follow. Which, again, I'm trying to remember all the hotkeys. I forget sometimes, so I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. And then I might also have, at this point, some issues with trying to claim my dinos. So, yeah, a little later on, someone actually claimed my dinos so that they can move them, because I got kicked out of the tribe. And apparently, you can claim dinosaurs. I'm not fully sure of the process, but I had to wait for somebody else to come get these dinosaurs and let me claim them. So, I'm going to jump to that now. Alright, and so now one of the players comes in on this freaky looking bug that I don't even know what it is, and comes over to unclaim the dinosaur so that I can claim my dinosaurs back. And yeah, that's pretty cool looking. I don't know what the heck that thing is. It's kind of terrifying. I had to check it out. It looks kind of like a grasshopper or something, like a praying mantis grasshopper type of deal. But yeah, unfortunately, from what I understand, I was only able to claim 2 of my dinosaurs. I think Iggy and Beeves I was able to claim, but Perry, for whatever reason, is still set to one of the other players, and he wasn't able to actually do it for me. The person that did the claiming has to get Perry, so unfortunately Perry has to stay here for this journey. Which is incredibly upsetting, because Perry was my first dinosaur, and I will have to make sure that I get him back. And I don't know. I have to check in on him, because I haven't had a chance to get in contact with the person that claimed Perry. So I'll be pretty upset if I'm not able to, and I'm sorry for punching this person. I did not mean to do that. I was checking out the character. And so we set off, and I must say a temporary goodbye to my buddy Perry as I search for a new home. And I will say, from playing this game and playing the old Ark, it's very easy to get sentimental towards your dinosaurs, and I don't know how to quite address that yet, because I do like the sense of immersion, but as you'll notice in a little bit, there's a situation that happens, and I get incredibly upset. I don't think the audio is there from my microphone. I did record my audio, I believe, but I want to say I had my microphone muted, and probably for the better, because I was not happy, and I was in a Discord server with some people, and they got very quiet. But we'll go back to that in a little bit, and I'm glad to be recording this after the fact.
Usually found in the deepest parts of the water around the island, Ammonitena multiamicus has a strange relationship with the other creatures of the deep. It must do something beneficial for them, since every nearby sea creature defends Ammonitena when it is attacked. What this distinct symbiosis is based on, alas, I have not yet discovered. Ammonitena has also made its way into the deeper parts of many underwater caves. Even within these caves, the creature will draw attention if assaulted, making harvesting its resource-rich shell a tricky proposition, depending on what other dangers may be lurking nearby. Like many of the untamable ocean dwellers, Ammonitena still has enough utility to be a valuable hunting target. If a tribe is willing to risk the wrath of nearby would-be protectors, Ammonitena bile can be harvested from the innards of its corpse. This bile can then be worked over with other chemicals to produce powerful concoctions, the most notable being a mixture that causes creatures to become enraged and attack the source.
I love those little tidbits of information. And sometimes I have to look it up because I don't know what is true and what is not. Because most of these dinosaurs are real, or at least discovered bones, and I think that's really awesome that they also sprinkle in some storyline to it. Which I did some research on the story before to know what the heck is happening in the story, because it's not an in-your-face kind of storyline. It's like the side stories in a game like Resident Evil where you're finding notes and stuff that explain it, but there's little journey notes or whatever, adventurer notes or something like that pop up here and there. It gives you experience. But anywho, so I come across this area right here, and I gotta say, when you're exploring, make sure that you immediately put down areas. Like, if you know you're gonna stay here, just use the marker. The marker system in this game is a lot easier, so it's really important to actually start doing that. So what's funny is I'm like starting to gather wood and building my stuff, and at a certain point I realized something that I'll get back to in a second. So yeah, I'm just trying to build some foundations to figure out, like, okay, where can I build, where can't I build, and I'm just going to go ahead and put a few down just so that I have an area to work with. Alright, so now I'm hungry and thirsty. Or I'm hungry, not thirsty yet. But this area does drain my heat pretty quickly, so I may have to either get some better gear, or I might in the future relocate once I have some better dinos and some better gear. Fortunately, I did manage to get a good bit of my stuff. The person that did break down my house did actually put some of my gear inside of beeves, which was really awesome. So I do have a few things here that you will see, which is very exciting, because I was a little annoyed. Like, I knew he was going to give it back to me and help me build, but I play at sporadic times, so I don't know when he's going to be on. These guys play like 24/7, it feels like, or like random times, and one guy I think is from the UK. But yeah, so I just get on when I can. I play some games, record this video for my son to be able to hang out and virtually and watch me play the game. But it's at this point I think I realized, I'm like, oh wait, I have a beaver. He can gather wood, and I'm just super excited because I'm like, oh yeah, this would be a lot easier because now I have an animal that gathers wood, but also it has reduced weight in his inventory, so we can hold a lot of lumber. And I'm kind of just looking around because I don't want to break down all the trees around my house because I like the cover that it gives me from players, that are flying overhead. Because flyers at a certain point, like, that's just the standard when you're traveling around. So having some trees around where I live is not a bad idea, and I think they do respawn, but I feel like there's some rule along the lines of, like, once you build a house or maybe put a bed down or something, certain things just don't spawn by you anymore, because that's, you don't have a tree growing through your house ever. I'm not exactly sure how that works in terms of, like, the coding of the game, but yeah, this is when I realized that, oh, my stuff is in here. I don't think all my metal is in here. I think they took some of my metal, which, whatever. I'll get more, but I'm trying my best to not be too annoyed because I don't get a chance to play this game too often, so I really don't want to, be grouchy during this time. I want to have a good time, record some good video for my son, and kind of just unwind a little bit. Like, the game itself can be very stressful, which you will see in a little bit, but yeah, I honestly just want to try to, be in the game, be relaxed, and just build some cool stuff and explore and fight dinos and tame dinos and maybe eventually raise some dinos or breed, whatever the term is. And I'm messing with the crafting system a little bit because I knew that in the past you could just, like, build over your old stuff and it'll get rid of it, but I think this one actually gives you back, refunds you 100% of the supplies, which is really nice. So I'm really liking this location. There's some gripes that I have about it in terms of, like, the heat and such, because it drains my water like crazy, but I think at a certain point, once I have better tech, it won't be as big of an issue. And again, one of the things I really enjoy about this game is that you do have the ability to track certain blueprints. So if I want to craft something, I can actually just right click and track it so that I know what points I need, right? And so I already had everything in this one, in this particular instance, so I didn't really need to worry about that. But yeah, it's important to build a bed. And I don't think I knew this beforehand, but this is worth mentioning as well, is that you can put down multiple beds. So you can put down beds at any of the strongholds that you have, and if your character dies, or you want to teleport, I knew about the teleporting part. I didn't realize that I could just spawn at any of those locations all the time. I thought I could just pick one spawn point and that was it. But I think I was watching somebody else play, like either a YouTuber or one of the other people in the Discord, just watching them play, and realized that, oh, like, I need to do more of this. And I do want to have some multiple locations. It just makes sense to do it that way. So that's what I'm going to do in the future here. So I'm glad that I cut on my audio because I forgot about this. But when I was playing, for the most part, I had a weird audio delay where I was like almost 4 seconds behind. It was like an audio delay, though. Not like a game delay, but like there was something wrong with my audio. And I could not figure out how to fix it, and it was like really, really annoying me. I do remember that now, because I had the mic turned off. Up until the point of just now, there was like this 4-second audio, and what I had to do was fix it. What I had to do to fix it was just unplug my audio interface and plug it back in. And that literally fixed my issue. And I was sitting here like, why is there such a weird audio delay? The game was working fine. It's just there was a 4-second delay in the audio. But then I like alt-tabbed out of the game. I minimized my game and like messed with my window sound and played some videos and realized that it wasn't the game. It was just my audio interface. It was just my audio hardware that was the issue. So that was kind of a relief in a way because like it's very easy to get mad at games, you know, that are new in early access and you want to complain about them. And so it was nice that that wasn't the issue in this specific case. And you might not notice about me, but I was a game developer. My degree is in animation and game design. That's what I got my bachelor's degree in, actually. So I did work in the gaming industry. I did learn how to create games and all the facets, the many facets that make games. So between that and working in game journalism and selling games at GameStop for like 6 years, I really have a certain expectation when it comes to reviewing games, talking about games, and sharing your opinion on games. So I take that kind of stuff very seriously. So I do like to be critical of games, but I like to make sure that my criticism is not biased, right? A lot of people, they do two things. One, they insert their bias into their opinions or their reviews. And two, they don't differentiate between subjective and objective, and those are two things that really get on my nerves when people talk about games, because there are definitely some objective things to talk about with games like Ark Survival Ascended, where the game's not working properly or it's not correctly optimized, and then there's other things where it's up to the player's preference, right? Like maybe it isn't working as intended, but perhaps it's not that big of a deal or whatever it may be. And I don't know too much about like what people are complaining about in Ark specifically. But just so many other games in the past that people like to talk about that are in early access and don't properly work. And it's like, yeah, the game is in early access. There's going to be issues with it. You're basically gambling when you buy a game in early access that the game might not be done. Now, you can buy a game and they can claim the game is released and done, but it might not work still. So there's no guarantee that buying a fully released game is going to be any better than buying an early access game these days. But that's par for the course when it comes to buying video games, which is also why I almost never buy games full price. Even Ark, even this game, I didn't buy it full price. It was on sale. But I digress. Yeah, so I do a lot of gathering here, but we're going to go ahead and skip ahead a little bit, and we're going to get to a situation that I'm not super excited about, but we got to talk about. Alright, so I've made some progress with my foundations, and I need to go gather some more wood. And here is where things take a turn for the south. I am just gathering my lumber, and then what happens? I accidentally bit a Triceratops. And here's the other issue, is that my beaver can't move right now because my inventory is full and I'm like panicking and I don't remember the hotkeys because again, I'm mostly a console player and I play PC kind of sparingly. So I'm trying to get my beaver out of here. He's getting beat up. He's not fighting back for whatever reason. He's not set to aggressive or even like to defend himself. So I'm like, how the heck do I get rid of all this stuff? I have all this stuff in my inventory. Please get rid of some of this. And the health is slowly ticking away. I'm yelling at this point and like freaking out, trying to get all this crap out of here. And all I had to do was just hold O. That's all you have to do in this situation. So if you're in a situation like this, just hold O, because if you don't, this is what's going to happen. And as you can see, I have like no more health left in my beaver and I lose my beaver. And at this point, I am livid. I am very, very mad. I am like in the Discord yelling and cussing right now. So I'm glad that I separate my gameplay from my voice audio, because it's a little embarrassing that how mad I got. But it was a culmination of many, many things. This last couple of weeks has been extremely busy and I have not been getting enough rest. And as a result, I was just tired, and I finally had a chance after like a whole week to sit down and finally play a little bit of Ark. When I do get on, I have to start building a new house. I have to relocate. I have to find that new location. I finally find a good spot that I'm excited about. And as soon as I do, I lose my beaver. Which beavers are kind of hard to find, I think. I think they're a relatively rare dinosaur. Maybe they're not as rare in this one. I didn't see any other beavers since then, since the one that I found. Not even when I found that beaver did I see any other dinosaurs around there. So I was just like super pissed at this point. I was just so upset, because that thing made it so much easier to gather wood for me. I was able to gather so much more wood and carry a lot more wood back and forth, because he had that huge weight reduction. Like I think it was like 75% weight reduction, and he could hold more weight than me, I think. So it was just, oh man, I was just devastated. Like there's a point where I just kind of like sit there, and I remember talking about this in the past where I kind of just wanted to like start over and kind of just like give up a little bit, if I'm being honest with you. I just wanted to put the controller down, or put the mouse and keyboard down, and just not do anything, because I was just upset. So I finally composed myself a little bit. I'm like, all right, let me get my stuff off of this dinosaur. I'm not going to quit. I told myself I wasn't going to do that. I told myself I'm just going to roll with the punches. And luckily, I was watching some Sinak. He's a big YouTuber who does a lot of Ark content, and he has had a terrible time. He's had a lot of bad things happen, a lot of unfortunate events when he played the game. And he still made content out of that and pushed through and just kept on doing things and rolling with the punches, because that is what Ark is. It's kind of like, playing what are those games called? A roguelike, and not expecting to die, or playing something like Elden Ring or a Souls-like and not expecting to die, or like not expecting yourself to lose your dinosaurs, or like being prepared for that to happen. And I think it's okay to be upset, because I do like, one, I like animals just in general. I do like animals. I'm very... I guess compared to my background, I'm very compassionate towards animals. And I do like putting myself in this world, putting myself in his shoes. You have this person who doesn't know anything about what's happening. He doesn't know why he's here. He doesn't know, why there's these animals or anything like that. I actually don't know how much these characters know, because I believe they're just clones. If you want to get to the nitty gritty of the storyline, I believe they're clones. But that said, I do like putting myself in the shoes emotionally with the character. So I do think in character my emotions were justified, but it was definitely an out of character reaction because of just how frustrated I was with everything going on. It's been a busy week. For those who know me, that I work in the world of esports, collegiate esports. So I do a lot, from organizing tournaments to coaching, to doing the operations of esports. There's a lot of different things that I have to do, and that means that it's not a normal 9 to 5. It's like sometimes 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's kind of sporadic. So finally get on. I want to just have some fun. I don't want to lose any dinosaurs. I just want to do things, and because of circumstances outside of the game's control, I had to relocate. And in that point, I was okay with all that. I was like, all right, that's fine, whatever, cool. I'm more comfortable in the server anyway, but just like the guy wasn't online. I couldn't get my parry, who I had painted red. I found out you can paint dinosaurs in this game, so I thought that was really cool. So I didn't finish completely, but you can paint dinosaurs in this game, and it's kind of it's a little weird, but it is also really cool. It kind of reminds me of ZBrush, if you guys have ever used ZBrush before. It's like a 3D modeling sculpting software. So yeah, you know, I'm just calming myself down. I'm talking to my buddy right now in the Discord as well. He kind of, you know, threw out some jokes to help calm me down a little bit. So I do appreciate the old dude chef, long time friend. I've known him since like Xbox 360, Xbox Live days. So it was really cool to, you know, hang out with him. I'm sharing my screen. He saw the whole thing go down. He was watching the whole entire time while he was playing like an RPG, and I felt bad because, you know, like he was just there and just heard me like cussing. And if you know me, I don't normally get mad. I don't really tend to get like super angry or cuss, especially at losing a video game. It's not something I normally do. But like it just felt like I had something really cool that was rare and it felt awesome, and then it was very useful. Beeves was very, very useful, so rest in peace to Beeves. So yeah, that kind of just like bubbled up in me, and I was just like mad for a good 10 to I wouldn't say 10 seconds, like a couple of minutes, like 2 to 5 minutes of me just like being mad. It was like 30 seconds of me yelling and cussing, and then just like another 4 minutes of me just not talking whatsoever. So yeah, it was rough, and people do lose their composure, and that scared me. I was like, what are these hands right here? But it was just Azalea, just hanging out. And luckily, I am lucky that I do still have Azalea, the Iguanodon, because Iguanodons are very useful. They have two different stances, so they have like a speed stance, and they have more of like an upright bipedal stance where they can jump. And they have really good speed, really good stamina, and decent storage. So Azalea is my only dinosaur that I currently have access to. You know, I've lost all my Pteranodons at this point. I think I've tamed like 3 Pteranodons and lost all of them. I'm So yeah, I'm down to 1 dinosaur, and I'm just rolling with the punches at this point, because that's all I can really do. And you know, I'm trying to get some supplies. Oh yeah, I remember now. So I was still kind of in a blood rage, if I'm being completely honest with you, and I was not thinking straight. And I saw the Triceratops that killed my beaver, and I wanted revenge. And as you can see, I almost jumped off of a cliff to get that revenge. So I started a fight, didn't really look at my surroundings, and didn't look at any of my meters. So I am starving, and I am out of water, and there is a Triceratops chasing me down. And while this is happening, I'm not keeping track of where my house is. I'm trying to like keep track of the path, but like it seems so weird to get to the water that I get lost, because I'm also fighting this Triceratops. I'm trying to dodge it and trying to shoot it and everything, and like I'm not trying to lose my torpor. So I'm just, you know, and I think he's walking away at this point. I think the dinosaur was walking away at this point, but I was like, no, you're not getting away. I'm not losing track of you. You are going down, or I'm gonna die trying. And I think I decided to stay by the water, because I can kind of like gather some berries and drink water if I get, you know, thirsty again, because it's very hot in this region. So yeah, I'm seeing red right now, and I'm like, this dinosaur is going down. I am probably talking in the Discord, using some expletives, using some adult words right now to express myself, I will say. So yeah, I found this nice little area right here that worked out, because the dinosaurs are a lot more mobile, like they're able to path a lot better, but he couldn't get up here, and he sort of just froze for a little bit. So I get to take a whole bunch of free shots on this dinosaur, and it felt good. I'm pretty sure this was the dinosaur. I'm going to hunt a lot of the Triceratops in the area just in general. So even if it isn't, I will get my revenge on the Triceratops race. And then hopefully I can find me a Stego or another beaver to collect more wood, or a Therizino. There are a lot of Therizinos in the area. Now that I'm thinking about this out loud, there are some Therizinos. So maybe next episode, that's what I do, is try to tame a Therizino. I did try to tame a Therizino in this episode. Did not go well. So I'm gonna have to stock up, because I think I used like 40 or 50 darts. But yeah, this felt good. Finally caught the stupid thing, and I was like, yes. Just super upset. and just felt good to get my revenge. So yeah, that was that that ordeal. But now it is done. I have refreshed myself. I am back on track. But unfortunately, I'm lost. Now, I know how to unlose myself now in this situation if it happens again. Even if I don't mark my house. Because I should have marked my house before I left. But I just went into a blood rage. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know where I'm at. But also, there's a drop right here. So that's kind of convenient. That's kind of a silver lining here, is that I just kind of got lost and came across a drop. Now, it is a white drop, so it's not going to be anything too great. But hey, free stuff is free stuff. So while waiting for my drop to get down, I decided to gather some berries because I was getting really hungry and also getting really thirsty. So I was trying to do everything I could to really quickly gather what I could, eat it all up. My brain's kind of turning off right now. I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Trying to level myself up real quick. And I don't know. I don't know why I was so indecisive. I probably was still a little flustered, but then this happens. And I just take a little nap in the middle of the brush. And I don't think anything bad happens, luckily. Just a little power nap, you know. And we are back. And I'm trying to eat what I can now before I pass out again from either hunger or from thirstiness. But the torpor ran out. I took my nap. But I am still also draining health as well. So it is important for me to get this. And I don't know why I'm going this way instead of going to get water. I think it would have been better to get water instead of going to get the drop. But I probably was just desperate to get some stuff, more than likely. But it wasn't too bad. There was actually some food in there. So that was like the silver lining. Some food and water in there too. It's like it knew. It's like the game knew that I needed a little bit of a reprieve from all the terrible things that have been happening to me. And don't worry, there's more bad stuff to come in future episodes. So there's definitely a lot of rough stuff that happens in this series. But nonetheless, we got some food and we got some water. Now I am able to get back to my house. But this was before I actually marked it on my map. And I got in that fight with that Triceratops. So this is me trying to find my way back to my house and actually exploring a little bit along the way. In the moment, I was, still frustrated. So, in that mindset, I'm still flustered. I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, now I lost my beaver. I just passed out. And I'm lost. How do I get back? And that's sort of my thought process right now, is just trying to find my way back. And it takes a little bit of time, so we're going to fast forward a little bit. But if I see anything interesting, we'll take a pause just to check it out. One thing I definitely want to point out is the power of parachutes. I can't stress enough how useful parachutes are. I think I saw something down there. I don't know if I thought this was my house. I'm pretty sure I didn't think it was my house. But again, you can get out of some really sticky situations with parachutes. The one caveat to that you'll see in a later episode is that sometimes the parachute glitches and you can't do anything out of it. And I don't yet know what causes that. But yeah, had to get some water. I think I still have a little bit of food from the drop. Yeah, I have about 4 more of the cooked fish from the drop. And now I got to continue the search to find the remnants or the start of my house. And this is where I almost had another terrible thing happen. But as you can quickly see, I decided nope. I just noped my way on out of there because, yeah, I did not want to have a fight with the tickle chicken. I'm sorry. That thing is just terrifying. If you've never fought a Therizino before, then give it a go and see what happens. But I would just say don't have anything valuable on you, or make sure you have a way to get back. But yeah, so now I know. I take note of that, and I'm aware of that area. And it's like a little canyon area, so it's hard because I think my house is above that. Like it's elevated somewhere else. That much I do know because I know I was like several cliffs around where I lived, which again is pretty nice because if I'm getting chased, I can just run and jump off if I have the know-how, the wherewithal to do all of that. And yeah, so me still struggling. I'm like, I know that I crossed over there because my original home is where that green marker is. I'm no longer there. That's where I got evicted from, and I'm pretty sure I went like north across that river, but I could not for the life of me figure out where it was. And I remember that the coast was like the south coast was an area near my house. But I also see another. Oh, I just noticed there was a drop over there. Did I miss that drop? I totally missed that drop. Oh man, that's a bummer. I think it was just a white drop, but again, like, you know, I need to get all the stuff I can. But let's go ahead and fast forward to some more progress. So like 3 hours later, no, more like 15 minutes later, I'm still trying to get food. I am fighting this temperature right now. I wish I had realized this sooner, but I could have just wore some linen, and I think my drink would have drained a lot slower. But yeah, I'm running away from bugs. I see a nice little Packy over there. I don't remember Packies having those like spikes before. I don't know if that's a Stygia Moloch, if they added those, but I'm pretty sure that was a Packy. I wish I had more time to look at it, but again, I'm like dehydrated. I kind of wasted a parachute right there, but I had to run away from some bugs. I was getting chased down by some bugs that were just terrorizing me. Oh, and I messed that up too, and I actually used up my last parachute right there. And again, they're pretty easy to make. I recommend always having parachutes on you, because sometimes you might just need to parachute down to some water real quick. And I think that's a raptor or something. I didn't get a good look. I was too afraid to look. So I'm like, okay, let me get some water. And at the corner of my eye, I see another Therizino. So I'm trapped between like a raptor and a Therizino right now. Realized that I had the water jug, which is nice. And yeah, so now I get away from the Dilophosaur, which that's probably what was fighting the other dinosaur. I think that was a Triceratops or a turtle that it was fighting. Because it sounded just like that. But again, still lost, still looking around. Now there's a tickle chicken right around the corner from me. And I hear dinos all over. I'm like too afraid to look around because just the luck that I've been having. So yeah, I'm still struggling to find the house, but I'm also kind of scouting out my surrounding area and like taking note of some things. I don't know what a Packy would be good for, honestly. And so I get a good look at this one, which is pretty cool looking, like yellow and blue and a little bit of black. There's some really nice looking dinosaurs. Like, I watched this on my phone. Like, I watched Sinak and a couple other YouTubers, and I don't get a chance to really appreciate the color of some of these dinosaurs and like the vibrance of them. But when I'm actually playing and I get the chance to actually look at some of these dinosaurs up close, it's very nice. And I don't get to play this game too often. Right now it's Thanksgiving break, so I have a little bit more time than normal to play the game, but it's still not like a whole bunch. And so yeah, I'm just like, okay, well, let me get some time in. Let me look at these dinos, and I've seen some really cool looking dinos. You'll see more coming up here, especially if you're watching on a bigger screen. So yeah, I'm just trying to like look around to make sure there's no like big old dinosaurs that's gonna attack me when I drop down there, but also looking to see if I need like what I need to make some more parachutes, all that kind of good stuff. And I think I try to find a way to get up here and go back around, because I'm almost certain that's how I have to get up to where I started building my house. Which in retrospect, I mean, part of the question for me was why not just start over, but I was very adamant about not starting over. I already had some stuff there. My storage was all there, so I wanted to get back. And I also had my azalea. And it's I don't want to spoil too much, because I think I mentioned this already earlier. Yeah. Okay, so now I realize, this is when I realized, I think, that I can just pull up the menu, because I started trying to call my dinosaur. I don't know if that was an accident, but I remember azalea was a little bit farther away from the house, like pretty close to the house, but not super duper far away. Not sure. So at some time here, I think I realized, yeah, okay, so I'm like way north of my house, I'm pretty certain. I don't remember off the top of my head. So finally, after a half an hour of searching, it dawns on me. I can just track my dinosaur. I could just track him and put him on the screen, and I can find him that way. I do have to actually hit the button to do it, but yeah, you can just track your dinosaurs in the, I think it's like the third tab. You just go there, and then, yeah, you hit that button right there, and now you exactly know where your dinosaur is at. And also, you can do the same thing if you make a marker for your house. When you mark your house, even if it is on the map, if you just want to have a direction pointing right at it, you can do the same thing with your house as well. So now I know where I have to go, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. And that was a nice little blue turtle over there too. I like some of the Triceratops, the white color in there. I do also like that you can paint your dinosaurs. I think that's a really cool feature. It's a little bit janky, but oh no, I don't even know what's chasing me right now. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know what that was. I still don't know what that was. And there's a Therizino right there, so I don't want to land on the Therizino, but I don't have anywhere else to go. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, I'm trying to like just skirt on past this Therizino. And is that a raptor? No, that's a Dilophosaur. Okay. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm terrified at this point. I'm just like playing a scary game. I have no food left. I'm trying to grab berries along the way so that I don't just like pass out. But at the very least, I now know where my house is. And again, I didn't build a bed yet either, so I can't spawn at my house. Because I'm pretty sure at this point it's just a foundation. And then I see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. And I'm only a little bit away from my dinosaur. There's some Dilophosaurs or whatever making noise, but I don't care. I'm hoofing it back to my house. I see Azalea, and I am excited. I have made it back to my house. Oh my goodness. Oh man, it was like an hour of just lost. I was so adamant about finding my house, and luckily I had some cooked meat going for me because I was smart enough to start cooking some meat on my way back. So I'm just munching down. There's some berries here. He's good on food. I'm about to hop off, so I'm just like, okay, let me just give him a bunch of food because I still don't know if dinosaurs die when you're AFK or like how that works. Sorry, Dodo, you're in my way. You gotta go. So yeah, this was quite the journey. The sun is going down, so now I'm lucky enough that I can actually be safe. I lucked out that I found my house before the lights went out, or the sun went down, I should say. So yeah, that oh my goodness, what a journey, what a journey. So I spent about a good 20 minutes gathering materials throughout the night and finally building a nice little shelter. It is not complete. I need to build a lot more ceilings, but I decided to not complete the house anyways because I want to go find a dinosaur that can gather wood for me so that I can just get a whole bunch of wood. And I did mess up that last little piece right there, and I'm like, whatever. I was just tired at this point. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Leave it there. That is a-okay. But now I do have a nice little house, and I can actually lie down in my bed and just take a nap, and that's what I'm going to do. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all in the next episode.